Hello everyone. Today we are following Valentina Tereshkova from a textile factory to a place no woman had ever reached. Her journey was shaped by talent, discipline, political competition, and one unusual skill. To understand how she became the first woman in space, we must begin far from any launch pad. It is a story about what can happen when quiet preparation suddenly meets a moment in history. Chapter 1. A Life Close to the Ground. Valentina Tereshkova was born in 1937 in a village near Yaroslavl in the Soviet Union. Her family did not belong to the world of science or aviation. Her father had worked as a tractor driver before he died during the Second World War. Her mother worked in a textile factory and raised 3 children. Valentina began working while she was still young. She eventually joined her mother in the textile industry, where machines, cloth, noise, and repeated movements filled the working day. She also continued her education through correspondence courses. Nothing in this ordinary routine seemed to point towards space, but outside the factory she discovered something that changed her direction. At a local flying club, Valentina began parachuting. She made her first jump in 1959 at the age of 22. Parachuting required more than courage. A jumper had to prepare equipment, understand weather, follow instructions, control fear, and react calmly after leaving the aircraft. Valentina continued jumping and gained valuable experience. At first, this was a serious hobby. There was no clear promise that it would change her career. She jumped because she valued the challenge, the precision, and the freedom above the ground. Soon, that private commitment became the skill that opened an impossible door. Chapter 2. Why Parachuting Mattered. In April 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space. His flight showed that a person could travel beyond Earth and return alive. It also increased the pressure of the space race between the Soviet Union and the United States. Soviet leaders wanted another historic first, sending a woman into space. The decision had a political purpose, but it also created a real opportunity for women who had never been part of the traditional military test pilot system. The early Vostok spacecraft made parachuting especially important. The capsule did not land with its cosmonaut inside. Near the end of the descent, the cosmonaut ejected and returned to the ground under a separate parachute. A skilled parachutist, therefore, had direct experience with a critical part of the mission. More than 400 possible candidates were considered. In February 1962, 5 women were selected for the cosmonaut group. Valentina was one of them. She was not chosen because she already knew how to fly a spacecraft. She was chosen because she combined physical ability, parachuting experience, discipline, and the capacity to represent the mission publicly. The process mixed technical needs with the image Soviet leaders wanted to present. Selection gave her a chance, not a guarantee. Chapter 3. Learning to become a cosmonaut. The 5 women entered a demanding training program. They studied space technology, astronomy, medicine, and communication. They experienced weightlessness during special aircraft flights. They faced isolation tests, high forces in a centrifuge, jet aircraft training, and many more parachute jumps. Each test examined a different kind of pressure. Could a candidate think while her body felt much heavier than normal? Could she complete tasks during short periods of weightlessness? Could she remain focused when alone and cut off from ordinary sound and contact? Valentina's factory background did not make these tests easier. She had to learn an entirely new technical language and compete with other capable women. Some had stronger aviation or engineering experience. Her advantage was not magic. It was the ability to keep working through discomfort, uncertainty, and intense evaluation. By 1963, the program had narrowed its choice. Valentina was named the main candidate for Vostok 6, with Irina Solovyova and Valentina Ponomaryova serving as backups. Passing training did not remove the uncertainty. Every candidate knew that plans could change, and another person could receive the seat. Valentina had to remain ready without knowing the final decision until close to launch. The textile worker was now preparing to command a one-person spacecraft. Chapter 4: The Seagull Leaves Earth. On June 14, 1963, cosmonaut Valery Bukovsky launched aboard Vostok 5. 2 days later, on June 16, Valentina entered Vostok 6 at the Baikonur launch site. Her radio call sign was Chaika, the Russian word for seagull. When the rocket lifted, the force pushed her back into her seat. Then the engine stopped, and she entered orbit. At 26, Valentina Tereshkova had become the first woman in space. Vostok 5 and Vostok 6 were both in orbit at the same time. During the early part of the mission, the two spacecraft passed within several kilometers of each other, and the cosmonauts communicated by radio. They did not connect. Each spacecraft continued on its own path around Earth. Inside Vostok 6, space was not a comfortable television studio. The capsule was small. Every action had a procedure. Valentina kept a flight log, communicated with ground control, completed observations, and took photographs of Earth and the horizon. The mission also collected information about how her body reacted to spaceflight. The public saw a powerful symbol. Behind that symbol was a person doing technical work while alone in a machine far above the planet. Her achievement depended on engineers, trainers, controllers, and the other women who had prepared beside her, even though only one name would become famous. Chapter 5: 48 Orbits. Vostok 6 remained in space for almost 3 days, about 71 hours. Valentina completed 48 orbits of Earth. That number can feel abstract. During each orbit, she moved from daylight into darkness and back again. Continents, oceans, clouds, and the curved horizon passed below. Yet the mission was not simply a beautiful view. She had to monitor systems, follow instructions, record information, and prepare for the return. Early human spaceflight involved uncertainty. Engineers understood the spacecraft, but every mission still produced new knowledge about machines and the human body. Valentina's flight was important, partly because it tested a claim that should never have needed proving. A trained woman could perform a space mission. On June 19th, the return began. Vostok 6 entered the atmosphere. At the planned stage of descent, Valentina ejected from the capsule and opened her parachute. The skill she had practiced near Yaroslavl now helped bring her home from space. She landed safely. The mission had required a launch vehicle, an automated spacecraft, teams on the ground, and her own performance under pressure. In less than 3 days, her public identity had changed from unknown factory worker to international figure. Chapter 6: A first is not the same as equality. The flight was celebrated as a major Soviet achievement. Valentina received honors and traveled widely as a public representative. She later studied at the Zhukovsky Air Force Engineering Academy and graduated in 1969. But the larger story was complicated. Valentina never flew in space again. The other women in her group did not receive missions. Another woman would not travel to space until Soviet cosmonaut Svetlana Savitskaya flew in 1982, 19 years later. This long gap changes the meaning of the story. Vostok 6 broke a barrier, but it did not create equal access overnight. A historic first can inspire millions, while the institutions behind it continue to move slowly. Valentina's achievement was also connected to Cold War competition. Soviet leaders understood its propaganda value, recognizing that context does not erase her work. It helps us separate the political use of the mission from the discipline and performance of the person inside the spacecraft. History becomes more useful when we can admire an achievement without turning it into a perfect or simple legend. Chapter 7. What her journey still shows. Valentina Tereshkova's path did not begin with a perfect plan. It began with work, study, and a demanding hobby. Parachuting seemed separate from space until technology made that experience valuable. Her story reminds us that preparation can create opportunities we cannot yet see. It also reminds us to look beyond simple legends. She was not selected from nowhere, and she did not succeed through courage alone. She trained, learned technical systems, competed for the mission, and completed the flight under pressure. The most honest version of her legacy holds two truths together. Vostok 6 served the ambitions of a powerful state during the space race, and Valentina Tereshkova became the first woman to leave Earth, circle it 48 times, and return. From a textile factory to orbit, the distance was enormous. She crossed it one jump, one lesson, and one difficult test at a time. This was another story from the English Vault. I will see you in the next one.